Welcome back to Inside Indiana Overtime. We're cranking these out like crazy, when football and basketball are going at the same time. But a little bit of a different look this time. That's not Jordan Gusky next to me. That's Mike Miller of the Bloomington Herald-Times. He's sitting in tonight because there aren't very many of us who traveled here to Maryland to College Park to see Indiana complete the third largest or tied for the third largest comeback in program history. They got down 21-3 in the first 10 minutes, first 9.5 minutes, and then stormed back, outscored Maryland 44-7 the rest of the game, ended up winning 47-28 to keep their bowl hopes alive and break a six-game losing streak. It was kind of weird early on, where coming into this game, Maryland's 2-8. They're at the bottom of the Big Ten.
Not very good.
Basically, yeah. And they were just having their way with Indiana. It was kind of more of the same. We saw Brandon Ross run for a 79-yard touchdown on Maryland's second play from scrimmage, and it was like, oh yeah, we've seen that before. We've seen Ezekiel Elliott run wild over Indiana and players throughout the Big Ten season, and then all of a sudden things changed.
Yep.
Indiana was able to get stops on defense. They were able to score on offense and score touchdowns. Instead of they settled for a field goal on their first drive after Jordan Howard had to come off after 3 carries. It looked like he apparently banged up his knee at some point, maybe during practice, something like that. Wilson was unclear because he does that. He's fairly unclear with injuries and just in the way he speaks in general. But Indiana was able to kind of overcome that, and it was a win that Indiana just hasn't gotten this year. It was a win where things
thorough.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they were going kind of back and forth off each other. The defense was leading into offense, and they were able to kind of climb out of this deficit that wasn't actually pseudo-predicted before the game. Yeah, it was weird. He was he was talking to his players beforehand, and he said, if we're up 21-3, if we're down 21-3, let's play the same. Let's keep playing hard because you look back at games like against Rutgers when Indiana was up by a bunch and really took its foot off the gas pedal. You look at games a game against Penn State where they fell behind and just didn't have any fight really left in them. But Indiana was kind of able to get some momentum and ride to this victory.
Mm-hmm. Really impressive game, too, from Nate Sudfeld to kind of really spark and lead that rally without having a Jordan Howard back there. Then you have a Divine Redding who faced it was a loaded box for most of the afternoon for Maryland, and he attacked that for I think a career high 130 yards. So between those guys, then you have Simi Cobbs on the outside, who had his best day of his career by far. My goodness, what do you have? 192 yards, 9 catches, both career highs. He's still a work in progress, but this is another very encouraging day in his development.
Yeah, he could have had a lot more. He could have easily broken 200.
Yeah, could have. So, and then it was your quintessential Indiana offense minus Howard, but Redding picks it up, and then on the defense, they were able to couple that with everything they had on defense. I think 11 total stops. Just solid play all around. I mean, this is not a very good Maryland offense. Brandon Ross was phenomenal today.
Yeah, 250 yards.
Most yards for Maryland rusher since 2003. Yeah, it was Bruce Perry. Goodness, that was from my youth.
Throwback, yeah.
But this is not a very good. Here's the thing, not a good Maryland offense or Maryland passing attack. They used 2 different quarterbacks today because Perry Hills was sick or something like that.
Yeah, he had mono.
Yeah. So they had Caleb Rowe, who actually did kind of well against IU last year in the game where C.J. Brown got nicked up for a little bit. Rowe came in and kind of kept that going in what I think was one of IU's more lopsided losses with Nate Sudfeld in that first half last year. So he played well against IU last year. This year was just, Maryland's got some problems, man. What they came into this game 28 interceptions or something like that. They're second worst in the country in turnover margin. My goodness.
And they have by far the most turnovers, period, in the country.
And Indiana didn't have an interception today, but they really didn't have an opportunity because the balls were so badly thrown. So many went to the sidelines or just overthrown by many, many yards. So they just really didn't have an opportunity to get that interception. But also, I think what's important to kind of recognize here, Maryland's passing game is not what anyone thinks it should be at the Big Ten level, but Indiana never really gave them that inroad where even some of the shorter passes that can kind of get an offense going a little bit. Indiana didn't let those turn into rally generators, momentum plays. I mean, they kind of There was tight coverage, especially from Rashard Fan, who I
Yeah,
thought was awesome
he played
today.
great today.
Really good game. Even recovered an onside kick.
That's right.
Really good game from Rashard Fan. But that was kind of the thing I saw from Indiana. Obviously, Maryland's not very good, but they didn't give them an opportunity outside of some runs from Brandon Ross.
Right, and that is kind of the caveat. It's like, yeah, Maryland is now 2-9 on the season, but now Indiana, they won a game that they were supposed to win for the first time in a while. I mean, they were supposed to beat Rutgers. I guess that's kind of the only Big Ten game you look at, and like that is the one game they should have won that they didn't.
Yeah.
But they're back to making winning plays, like you said. They're making stops on defense. 11 of Maryland's last 12 possessions ended in either a punt or a turnover on downs. So Indiana they were just absolutely taking care of business. Griffin Oaks had a great game. I think you looked this up. He's one field goal short of tying the single-season record.
Yeah, I think that's right. Austin Starr had 21 in 2007. The last year they went to a bowl.
Yeah, so coincidence?
Probably.
Yeah. No, it is. But he has 20 this season. He had a really bad showing against Michigan State where he missed 2 extra points and missed a field goal. But he's 10 for 10 on field goals since then, and 4 today, 4 against Michigan. So he's been phenomenal, and it's just like all the Hoosiers are kind of playing their role. They're all kind of playing their part. There's no one who really has to pick up the slack for everybody else. They're not just totally riding Nate Sudfeld. They're not totally riding Jordan Howard or a stud wide receiver or something like that. They're getting little contributions from everybody. Sammy Collins had a huge game today. Mitchell Page had a great game. He had two touchdown catches.
Andre Booker had 59 yards coming into this game. He had a 59-yard touchdown reception.
Yeah, and part of that is like you said, Maryland kind of stacked the box and put a lot of single coverage on guys.
Yeah.
But Indiana was able to take advantage, and they beat a team they should beat. Yep. Next week they'll be facing kind of the same situation, a road game against a team that isn't great. Purdue hasn't had a great year. Indiana should win that game, but IU also hasn't won back-to-back Big Ten road games since the 80s. So we'll see what happens there. It's even more of an exciting bucket game because it's for a bowl game for Indiana. So we'll be there. Mike goes to Maui first, but then he comes back for that game. So
I don't want to go.
No, of course not. Thanks for taking this.
I'll go. I mean, if I have to go, I'll go. I wasn't gonna,
I know
say no.
He's a team player.
Yeah,
he goes to Maui when other people would just want to go back to snowy Indiana. Yeah. So good for you. I'm proud of you. Thanks for joining us, by the way, on Overtime, and maybe we'll do it again soon. But next week it'll be back to me and Jordan. So there's that. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.